A millionaire's scream echoed through his mansion, shattering the dawn's eerie silence. The sprawling estate sat atop a fog-drenched hill in coastal Monterey, California. Salt air clung to skin, sharp and briny, like a whispered warning. Gnarled cypress trees loomed outside, their shadows clawing at stained-glass windows. Inside, polished marble floors gleamed under chandeliers dripping with crystal. The scent of old money and wax polish hung heavy in every room. Elliot Grayson, tech mogul, ruled this opulent cage with ruthless precision. His wealth bought loyalty, silence, and secrets no one dared question. Yet, something felt wrong today, a chill slithering beneath the grandeur. He hired Maria Delgado, a quiet woman, to clean his labyrinthine home. She arrived at dawn, her footsteps soft on the cold stone driveway. Her worn sneakers squeaked faintly, betraying her presence in the stillness. Maria, 32, carried the weight of poverty in her calloused hands. Her dark eyes scanned the mansion, wary, like a deer sensing danger. Elliot's ad promised good pay, a lifeline for her struggling family. She knocked on the oak door, its carvings swirling like trapped spirits. The door creaked open, revealing a cavernous foyer bathed in golden light. Elliot stood there, impeccably dressed, his smile sharp as a blade. His voice was smooth, welcoming, but his eyes held a predator's glint. Maria stepped inside, her heart thudding against her threadbare sweater. The air felt thick, oppressive, like the house itself was watching her. She clutched her cleaning supplies, their plastic handles biting her palms. Elliot gestured grandly, explaining her duties with calculated charm. Every room must sparkle, every surface flawless. No questions asked. Maria nodded, her throat tight, sensing rules unspoken but absolute. The mansion's halls stretched endlessly, lined with portraits of stern ancestors. Their painted eyes followed her, unblinking, heavy with judgment. She began in the library, its shelves towering with leather-bound books. Dust motes danced in slanted sunlight, a faint musty smell lingering. Her sponge scraped against mahogany, the wood's grain rough under her fingers. A faint hum vibrated through the walls, low and unsettling. She paused, listening, but only silence answered, thick and unnatural. Maria moved to the dining hall, its long table set for ghosts. Crystal glasses sparkled, catching light like stars trapped in ice. The chandelier above swayed slightly, though no breeze stirred the air. Her reflection flickered in a silver candelabra, distorted and fleeting. Something crashed upstairs, a sharp sound slicing through the quiet. Maria froze, her pulse racing, mop handle slick with sweat. Elliot's voice called down, calm, claiming a book had fallen. She exhaled slowly, but doubt gnawed at her frayed nerves. The mansion felt alive, its walls hiding secrets in every crack. She climbed the grand staircase, its velvet runner soft underfoot. Each step groaned, as if protesting her intrusion into forbidden territory. The second floor smelled faintly of iron, metallic and sharp. A long hallway stretched before her, doors locked, handles cold. One door stood ajar, light spilling out like a siren's call. Maria hesitated, her breath catching, curiosity battling her instincts. She pushed it open, revealing a study cluttered with papers. Maps and photographs littered the desk, pinned with red string. A single image caught her eye, her own face staring back. Her stomach dropped, icy dread pooling in her veins. The photo was grainy, taken from afar, outside her apartment. Her hands trembled, knocking a pen to the hardwood floor. It rolled under the desk, clinking against something metal. She knelt, peering into the shadows, her breath shallow and quick. A small lockbox gleamed, its surface etched with strange symbols. The air grew colder, pressing against her skin like damp cloth. Footsteps echoed behind her, deliberate, heavy, and far too close. Maria spun, heart hammering, but the doorway stood empty. Her eyes darted to the photo, her face frozen in fear. Why was she here, captured in secret, in this stranger's lair? Elliot's voice drifted up, calling her name with unsettling warmth. She shoved the photo back, her fingers smudging the glossy surface. The box under the desk seemed to hum, faint but persistent. She stood, legs unsteady, the the room spinning around her. The mansion's opulence now felt like a gilded trap. Maria descended the stairs, each step heavier than the last. Elliot waited below, his smile wider, eyes darker, knowing. He asked about her progress, his tone light but probing. She lied, claiming the study was spotless, her voice steady. His gaze lingered, searching, as if peeling back her thoughts. The chandelier's light flickered, casting jagged shadows across his face. Maria's skin prickled, every instinct screaming to run. Yet the promise of money anchored her to this cursed place. She moved to the kitchen, its stainless steel gleaming coldly. Knives hung in neat rows, their blades catching the light. The scent of bleach stung her nose, sharp and chemical. A faint stain marred the counter, reddish-brown, barely noticeable. She scrubbed it, her hands shaking, the sponge soaking red. Her mind raced, piecing together fragments of dread. The photo, the box, the stain, clues to something sinister. Elliot appeared in the doorway, silent, his presence suffocating. He complimented her work, his words dripping with false warmth. Maria forced a smile, her heart pounding like a drum. The kitchen clock ticked loudly, each second a warning. She needed to finish, to escape, but questions burned inside. Why her photo? What was locked in that box? The mansion's walls seemed to close in, whispering secrets. She moved to the ballroom, its parquet floor endless and gleaming. Mirrors lined the walls, reflecting her every move, distorted. Her reflection looked wrong, eyes too wide, face too pale. A faint scratching sounded from above, rhythmic and deliberate. Maria's breath hitched, her mop slipping from her grasp. The sound stopped, replaced by an oppressive silence. She felt watched, not by eyes but by the house itself. Elliot's footsteps echoed again, closer, then fading away. She retrieved her mop, its handle slick with her sweat. The ballroom's air was heavy, thick with unseen menace. Maria's mind churned, replaying the photo, the stain, the box. Something was wrong here, deeply wrong, and she was entangled. She finished the ballroom, her movements mechanical, driven by fear. Elliot appeared again, his smile now a predator's grin. He offered her tea, his hand brushing hers, lingering. Her skin crawled, but she accepted, needing to stay calm. The tea smelled bitter, steam curling like ghostly fingers. She pretended to sip, watching him over the cup's rim. His eyes gleamed expectant, as if waiting for something. The clock struck noon, its chime reverberating through the mansion. Maria set the cup down, her hands trembling slightly. She excused herself, claiming she needed to clean upstairs. Elliot nodded, but his gaze followed her, unyielding. She climbed the stairs again, her legs heavy as lead. The study's door was closed now, locked, unyielding. She pressed her ear against it, hearing nothing but silence. Her fingers traced the door's carvings, cold and intricate. A floorboard creaked behind her, sharp in the quiet. She turned, but no one was there, only shadows. The mansion felt alive, its pulse thrumming beneath her feet. Maria's heart raced, her mind screaming to flee. Yet she stayed, drawn to the mystery, the danger. She moved to another room, its windows draped in velvet. Dust clung to the curtains, heavy with years of neglect. A faint smell of decay lingered, sour and unsettling. She opened a drawer, finding old letters yellowed and brittle. One mentioned a woman vanished, her name scratched out. Maria's breath caught, her fingers trembling as she read. The letter spoke of a deal, a secret, a betrayal. Her eyes darted to the door, expecting Elliot's silhouette. The mansion's air grew colder, wrapping her in dread. She stuffed the letter back, her pulse pounding in her ears. Something crashed below, glass shattering, a scream following. Maria froze, her blood icing over, heart in her throat. Elliot's voice rose, frantic, calling her name again. She stepped back, the floor creaking under her weight. The mansion seemed to groan, its secrets clawing to surface. Maria gripped her mop, her only weapon, her only anchor. She descended the stairs, each step a plunge into darkness. The foyer was empty, but the air felt charged, electric. A broken vase lay scattered, its shards glinting like teeth. Elliot stood in the shadows, his face unreadable, tense. He said nothing, but his eyes locked onto hers. Maria's skin prickled, every nerve screaming danger. Something was coming, something terrible, and she was trapped. Maria's footsteps echoed in the mansion's foyer, sharp against the shattered vase of silence. The coastal Monterey fog pressed against the windows, thick and suffocating. Salt air seeped through unseen cracks, cold and damp on her skin. Elliot's shadow loomed in the corner, his eyes glinting like polished obsidian. She gripped her mop tighter. It would warm from her trembling hands. His voice broke the quiet, smooth, asking her to clean the basement. The word basement sent a shiver racing down her spine. She nodded, throat dry, unable to refuse his piercing gaze. The air grew heavier, charged with an unspoken menace. Elliot handed her a key, its metal icy and oddly heavy. Its jagged edges bit into her palm, drawing a faint sting. He pointed to a door beneath the grand staircase, barely noticeable. Its paint was chipped, revealing dark with scratches. Maria's heart thudded, each beat loud in her ears. She approached the door, the mansion's silence pressing against her. The key turned with grinding click, reluctant and ominous. The door groaned open, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. A stale, earthy smell wafted up, thick with mold and decay. She flicked a switch, but the bulb flickered, weak and yellow. Each step creaked under her weight, protesting her descent. The walls were damp, slick with moisture, cold to the touch. Cobwebs brushed her face, sticky threads clinging to her hair. She reached the basement, its vastness swallowing the dim light. Concrete floors stretched endlessly, stained with dark, irregular patches. The air was colder here, heavy with an unsettling stillness. Metal shelves lined the walls, cluttered with dusty crates and jars. Something skittered in the shadows, small and unseen, startling her. Her breath caught, fogging in the chilly, cavernous space. She moved forward, her sneakers scuffing against the gritty floor. A faint hum pulsed through the walls, low and rhythmic. It matched the strange sound she heard upstairs earlier. Her eyes scanned the shelves, catching glints of glass and metal. A jar held something murky, floating in a viscous liquid. She leaned closer, heart racing, squinting at the contents. It looked like fabric, tangled, stained, but vaguely familiar. Her stomach churned, bowel rising, as recognition flickered faintly. Was it clothing, preserved like a grotesque trophy? She stepped back, her heel hitting something hard and metallic. A trapdoor lay embedded in the floor, rusted but locked. Its handle was cold, unyielding, sealed with a heavy padlock. The hum grew louder, vibrating from beneath the trapdoor's surface. Maria's hands shook, her mind screaming to leave this place. She knelt, peering at the lock, its surface scratched and worn. Faint etchings marked it, symbols like those on the study's box. Her fingers traced them, rough and deliberate, sparking unease. The air shifted, a draft carrying whispers of distant voices. She stood quickly, her pulse hammering, senses on edge. A light flickered above, casting jagged shadows across the walls. She turned, scanning the darkness, feeling eyes upon her. Nothing was there, but the silence felt alive, watching. She grabbed a broom, its bristles stiff, caked with dust. Sweeping began, but her eyes stayed on the trapdoor, what lay beneath it, hidden in this millionaire's lair. The photo upstairs, her face, flashed in her mind. The reddish stain in the kitchen haunted her thoughts. The letter mentioning a vanished woman burned in her memory. Each clue tightened the knot of dread in her chest. She swept faster, dust swirling, choking the stale air. A faint creak echoed from the staircase behind her. She froze, broom clutched tightly, her breath shallow. Elliot's voice called down, calm but edged with impatience. He asked if she needed help, his tone too smooth. Maria shouted back, claiming all was fine, voice steady. Her heart disagreed, pounding wildly against her ribs. The creaking stopped, but his presence lingered unseen. She moved to a corner, sweeping near a cracked mirror. Her reflection stared back, pale, eyes wide with fear. The glass was warped, distorting her face into something alien. A faint scratch came from the trapdoor, sharp and deliberate. Her skin prickled, every hair standing on end. She approached it again, drawn despite her terror. The hum intensified, vibrating through her bones, relentless. She knelt, pressing her ear to the cold metal. A muffled sound, like breathing, pulsed from below. Her blood ran cold, her body rigid with dread. She stood, backing away, her broom clattering to the floor. The mirror caught her eye again, reflecting something new. A shadow moved behind her, tall and indistinct. She spun, hard in her throat, but found nothing. The basement's darkness seemed to pulse, alive and hungry. Maria grabbed her broom, clutching it like a lifeline. She needed to leave, to escape the suffocating tomb. But the key in her pocket felt heavier now. It tethered her to this place, to its secrets. She moved to a shelf, pretending to clean, mind racing. A small notebook lay tucked between two dusty crates. Its leather cover was worn, edges frayed and brittle. She opened it, pages yellowed, filled with cramped handwriting. Names, dates, and addresses sprawled across the lines. Her own name appeared, circled in red ink. Her breath hitched, fingers trembling as she read. Other names were listed, some crossed out violently. Each crossed-out name had a date, recent, chilling. The last entry mentioned a woman, missing like her. Maria's knees weakened, the notebook slipping from her grasp. It hit the floor, pages splaying, revealing a photo. A young woman stared out, eyes wide, face familiar. Maria's heart stopped. She knew her, a neighbor, gone. The air grew colder, wrapping her in icy dread. Footsteps thudded above, heavy, moving toward the stairs. Elliot was coming, his presence a suffocating weight. She shoved the notebook back, heart pounding like thunder. The trapdoor's hum grew louder, almost a growl now. She backed away, her sneakers squeaking on the concrete. The stairs creaked under Elliot's deliberate, descending steps. Maria's eyes darted, searching for an escape route. A narrow window sat high, grimy, barely letting light through. She climbed a crate, fingers scraping against rough wood. The glass was cold, stuck, refusing to budge. Elliot's voice called her name, closer, almost at the bottom. Panic surged, her hands slamming against the window pane. It cracked open just enough, letting in salty air. She pushed harder, splinters biting into her palms. The window gave way, opening to Foggy outside. Elliot's footsteps stopped, his silence more terrifying than words. Maria climbed through, her body scraping against the frame. She tumbled into the grass, wet and cold beneath her. The mansion loomed above, its windows like unblinking eyes. She ran, fog swallowing her, heart racing wildly. The hum followed, faint but persistent, echoing in her ears. She reached the driveway, her breath ragged, lungs burning. Elliot's silhouette appeared at the mansion's door, motionless. His eyes locked on her, piercing through the mist. Maria turned, sprinting toward the road, fear driving her. The fog thickened, hiding her, but not her dread. The notebook's names burned in her mind, a warning. Her neighbor, the vanished woman, the crossed-out dates. What was Elliot hiding in that locked trapdoor? The mansion's secrets clung to her, heavy and inescapable. She stumbled, her foot catching on a loose stone. Pain shot through her ankle, sharp and searing. She pushed forward, the road barely visible ahead. A car's headlights cut through the fog, sudden, blinding. Its engine roared, growing louder, closer, too fast. Maria dove aside, her body hitting wet earth. The car screeched past, vanishing into the mist. She lay there, heart pounding, mud soaking her clothes. The mansion's hum lingered, a ghost in her ears. Elliot's silhouette was gone, the doorway empty now. But she felt his gaze, watching, always watching. Maria stood, limping, her resolve hardening like steel. She needed answers to uncover Mansion's truth. The key in her pocket burned, a dangerous promise. She would return, but not as his prey. Maria limped through Monterey's fog, the mansion's shadow still clawing at her back. The coastal air stung her lungs, salty and sharp like a blade. Wet grass soaked her jeans, chilling her skin to the bone. The key in her pocket pressed hard, a cold, relentless weight. Her ankle throbbed, each step shooting pain through her leg. The road stretched ahead, shrouded in mist, eerily silent. The hum from a mansion lingered, faint, haunting her ears. She clutched the stolen notebook, its leather rough against her fingers. Names, dates, her neighbor's face, secrets she could not unsee. Headlights flashed again, slicing through the fog. Too close. A black SUV roared past, brakes screeching, tires spitting gravel. Maria dug behind a cypress tree, its bark scraping her palms. Her heart pounded, loud as waves crashing on the shore. The car stopped, its engine idling, a low, predatory growl. A door slammed, heavy boots crunching on the wet road. Elliot's voice cut through the mist, calm but venomous. He called her name, each syllable dripping with menace. Maria pressed against a tree, its damp with cold, unyielding. Her breath fogged shallow, betraying her in the silence. The notebook's pages crinkled in her grip, loud as thunder. She peeked out, seeing Elliot's silhouette, tall and imposing. His flashlight beam swept the fog, hunting, relentless, precise. The beam grazed a tree, light burning her eyes briefly. She ducked lower, her pulse racing, sweat mixing with mist. The ocean roared nearby, its waves a distant, angry chorus. Elliot's boots moved closer, deliberate, crunching leaves underfoot. She held her breath, muscles taut, ready to sprint. The flashlight beam swung away, giving her a moment's reprieve. Maria bolted, her ankles screaming, the fog swallowing her steps. Branches whipped her face, leaving stinging welts on her cheeks. She stumbled into a ditch, mud sucking at her sneakers. The notebook slipped, falling into the cold, slimy muck. She scrambled for it, fingers clawing through the wet earth. Elliot's voice called again, closer, his tone sharper now. Her hands found the notebook, its pages soggy, barely intact. She stuffed it into her jacket, heart hammering, mind racing. The fog thickened, a gray veil hiding her from him. She crawled forward, mud caking her knees, cold and gritty. A twig snapped behind her, sharp like a gunshot. Maria froze, her breath caught, every nerve on fire. Elliot's flashlight swept again, its beam slicing the darkness. She pressed into the mud, the earth's chill seeping into her bones. His boots stopped, inches away, gravel crunching under his weight. He muttered something, low, words lost in the wind. The air smelled of salt and decay, thick with dread. Maria's fingers dug into the mud, clutching the notebook tighter. Elliot moved past, his shadow looming, then fading away. She exhaled, trembling, the fog cloaking her like a shroud. She stood, legs shaky, the road barely visible ahead. The mansion's hum pulsed faintly, a ghost in her mind. She limped forward, each step a battle against fear. A signpost emerged from the mist, rusted, pointing to town. She followed it, the road winding through gnarled trees. Their branches twisted above, like fingers reaching for her. The fog carried whispers, faint as if the trees spoke. Maria's skin prickled, every sound amplifying her terror. A light flickered ahead, a gas station's neon glow. Its buzzing sign cut through the fog, harsh and red. She stumbled toward it, her breath ragged, lungs burning. The station's lot was empty, asphalt cracked, oil stained. A payphone stood in the corner, rusted, barely functional. She fumbled for coins, her hands shaking, mud-smeared. The notebook's pages stuck together, ink bleeding but legible. She dialed her brother, her only ally, voice trembling. The line crackled, static loud, connection weak and fading. She whispered urgently, telling him about the mansion, Elliot, the notebook, the trapdoor, the names. Her voice broke. Her brother promised to come, his voice steady, calming. She hung up, the receiver cold, slick with her sweat. The gas station's fluorescent lights flickered, casting eerie shadows. A faint hum echoed, the same one from the mansion. Her stomach dropped, dread coiling tighter in her chest. She backed away. The notebook clutched like a lifeline. The fog swirled, revealing a figure in the distance. Elliot's silhouette stood at the road's edge, motionless. His eyes glinted, catching the neon light, unblinking. Maria's heart stopped, her body frozen, breath trapped. He stepped forward, his boots deliberate, echoing in the quiet. She turned, sprinting toward the station's small convenience store. The door's bell jangled, shrill, as she burst inside. The clerk looked up, startled, his face pale, tired. She begged for help, words tumbling, voice hoarse with panic. The clerk hesitated, eyes darting to the foggy window. Elliot's silhouette vanished, swallowed by the mist outside. The store smelled of stale coffee and cheap air freshener. Maria's hands trembled, the notebook slipping from her grip. It hit the floor, pages splaying, revealing another photo. A man this time, eyes hollow, face bruised, familiar. She gasped, recognizing him. A co-worker, missing for weeks. The clerk peered over, his expression shifting to unease. He whispered a name, Elliot's, his voice barely audible. Maria's blood ran cold, her mind spinning with questions. The clerk knew something, his eyes hiding a secret. She demanded answers, her voice sharp, edged with fear. He stammered, claiming Elliot owned half the town. People disappeared, he said, but no one asked questions. The notebook's names flashed in her mind, a chilling list. She grabbed it, her fingers smudging the damp pages. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the store's walls. The clerk's eyes widened, his face draining of color. He pointed to the back, a door to an alley. Maria ran, the notebook tucked tightly against her chest. The alley was narrow, reeking of garbage and damp brick. Her sneakers splashed through puddles, cold water soaking through. The fog followed, thick, muffling her frantic footsteps. A shadow moved behind her, swift, silent, closing in. She ducked behind a dumpster, its metal cold, rusted. Her breath hitched, heart pounding, drowning out the hum. The shadow passed, boots scraping then, and fading into silence. She waited, counting seconds, her body trembling uncontrollably. The alley's air was heavy, thick with rot and fear. She crept forward, the notebook's weight anchoring her resolve. A streetlight flickered ahead, its glow weak, almost useless. She reached the road, the fog thinner but still oppressive. Her brother's truck appeared, headlights cutting through the mist. Relief flooded her, but the hum persisted, relentless. She climbed in, slamming the door, her breath ragged. Her brother's face was grim, eyes scanning the fog. He asked about the notebook, his voice low, urgent. She showed him, pages open, names glaring in red. His jaw tightened, recognizing another name, a friend. The truck roared to life, tires screeching on wet asphalt. The mansion's hum faded, but its grip remained. Maria's mind raced, piecing together the chilling clues. The trapdoor, the photos, the names. Elliot's dark game. Her brother drove fast, the fog swallowing the road behind. She clutched the key, its edges biting her palm. It unlocked something, somewhere in that cursed mansion. The notebook held answers, but each one birthed questions. Who were these people vanished, crossed out in ink? Why was her name among them? Circled, marked? The truck's engine roared, but the hum lingered faintly. Elliot was out there, hunting, his reach vast. Her brother glanced at her, his eyes hard, determined. They needed a plan to expose Elliot's secrets. The fog thickened again, wrapping the truck in gray. A shape loomed ahead, sudden, blocking the road. Her brother swerved, tires screaming, the truck lurching. Maria's scream caught her throat, heart in freefall. The shape vanished, but the hum grew louder, closer. Something was coming, relentless, tied to the mansion. Maria gripped the notebook, her resolve burning brighter. She would uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Maria's brother floored the gas, the truck tearing through Monterey's suffocating fog. The engine's roar battled the mansion's hum, persistent in her ears. Mud caked her hands, the notebook's damp weight heavy against her chest. The key in her pocket burned, its edges sharp, unrelenting. Her brother's knuckles whitened, gripping the wheel, eyes scanning the mist. The road twisted, lined with cypress trees, their branches clawing the sky. Salt air stung her face, seeping through the truck's cracked window. The notebook's names haunted her, each one a ghost screaming warnings. Her neighbor, her co-worker, crossed out, vanished without a trace. The shape in the fog lingered in her mind, shapeless, menacing. Her brother cursed, swerving to avoid another shadow in the road. The truck lurched, tires screeching, gravel spitting against the undercarriage. Maria's heart pounded, her breath fogging the cold glass beside her. The hum grew louder, vibrating through the truck's metal frame. She clutched the notebook, its pages crinkling, ink smudged but legible. Her brother glanced over, his face taut, voice low, urgent. He asked about the key, what it unlocked, what she knew. She stammered, unsure, the trapdoor's image flashing in her mind. The mansion's secrets clung to her, heavy as wet earth. They reached the diner, its neon sign buzzing, flickering red. The lot was near empty, asphalt cracked, smelling of oil. Her brother parked, the engine ticking as it cooled. Maria's legs trembled, her ankle throbbing with every step. Inside, the diner smelled of grease, coffee, and stale cigarette smoke. Booths were worn, vinyl seats sticky, torn at the edges. A waitress eyed them, her apron stained, face lined with fatigue. Maria slid into a booth, the notebook hidden under her jacket. Her brother ordered coffee, his voice steady, but eyes wary. The hum faded, but its echo lingered, a sinister pulse. Maria opened the notebook, pages sticking, revealing more names. One caught her eye, written in fresher ink, underlined twice. It was her brother's name, circled, dated yesterday. Her blood froze, her fingers trembling, heart in her throat. She showed him, her voice breaking, barely a whisper. His face paled, eyes widening, reflecting the diner's dim light. He grabbed a notebook, scanning it, his jaw clenched tight. The waitress approached, her shoes squeaking on the linoleum floor. She set down coffee, its steam curling, bitter and acrid. Maria's eyes darted to the window, fog pressing against it. A shadow moved outside, faint, blending with the mist. Her brother whispered, saying they needed to return to confront. Maria's stomach churned, dread coiling like a snake inside her. The key in her pocket felt alive, pulsing with danger. She nodded, resolve hardening, fear battling her courage. They left the diner, the bell jingling, sharp in the quiet. The fog thickened, swallowing the truck as they climbed in. Her brother drove back, toward the mansion, toward answers. The road was silent, save for the hum, growing stronger. Maria's mind raced, piecing together the notebook's chilling clues. Her brother's name, her neighbor, the trapdoor's locked secrets. The mansion loomed ahead, its silhouette jagged against the sky. Its windows glowed faintly, like eyes watching their approach. Her brother parked far, hidden by trees, engine off. They crept forward, fog clinging to their clothes, damp and cold. The mansion's air was heavy, thick with salt and menace. Maria gripped the key, its metal cold, biting her palm. They reached the side entrance, its door rusted, slightly ajar. Her brother pushed it open, hinges creaking, loud as a scream. The hallway inside was dark, smelling of wax and decay. Their footsteps echoed, soft but betraying their presence. Maria led, her heart pounding, the notebook tucked close. They reached the basement door, its scratches deeper, more ominous. The key turned, grinding, the lock resisting, then giving way. The staircase descended into darkness, air thick with mold. Each step groaned, protesting, as if warning them back. The basement's concrete was cold, stained, reeking of earth. The hum was deafening now, vibrating through the walls. Maria's flashlight flickered, its beam weak, barely cutting the dark. The trapdoor lay ahead, rusted, its symbols glowing faintly. Her brother knelt, inspecting the lock, his hand steady. Maria's breath caught, the notebook slipping, pages fluttering open. A new page revealed itself, written in different handwriting. It listed her mother, missing for years, presumed dead. Her knees buckled, the world spinning, air too thick to breathe. Her brother grabbed her, his eyes wide, voice a harsh whisper. He said it was impossible, their mother long gone. Maria's mind reeled, the hum drowning out her thoughts. The trapdoor symbols pulsed, matching the notebook's cryptic marks. She fumbled with the key, her hands shaking, slick with sweat. It fit the lock. Clicking, the trapdoor shuttering open. A blast of cold air rushed up, smelling of iron and rot. Steps led down, carved into stone, slick with moisture. Maria's flashlight caught something below, glinting metallic, wrong. Her brother grabbed her arm, urging caution, but she descended. Each step was slimy, her sneakers slipping, heart racing. The hum was a roar now, shaking her bones, relentless. At the bottom, a chamber opened, walls lined with monitors. Screens flickered, showing faces, names from the notebook. Her neighbor, her co-worker, her mother, all staring back. Maria's scream lodged in her throat, silenced by horror. The monitors showed live feeds, people trapped, faces gaunt. Her mother's image blinked, eyes hollow, but unmistakably alive. Maria's legs gave out, her brother catching her, stunned. The chamber smelled of rust, blood, and sterile chemicals. A table held tools, sharp, gleaming, stained with use. Her brother whispered her name, his voice trembling, urgent. The hum stopped, replaced by footsteps above, heavy, deliberate. Elliot's voice echoed down, smooth, taunting, knowing they were there. Maria's eyes darted, searching for an escape, finding none. The monitors flickered again, showing her own face now. Her heart stopped, realization crashing like a tidal wave. She was being watched, recorded, part of his game. Her brother pulled her back, toward the stairs, urgent. The chamber's walls seemed to close in, suffocating, alive. Footsteps grew louder, Elliot's presence a suffocating weight. Maria clutched the notebook. Its pages are only proof. The key fell, clattering on the stone, lost in shadows. She scrambled for it, fingers scraping cold, wet rock. Her brother yanked her up, dragging her toward the stairs. A monitor flashed, showing Elliot, smiling, holding the key. Maria's blood ran cold, her mind screaming, trapped. He was above, waiting, his trap perfectly set. The chamber's air grew colder, wrapping her in dread. Her mother's face flickered again, mouthing a silent plea. Maria's resolve hardened, fury replacing her paralyzing fear. She would not die here, not in his twisted game. Her brother pushed her forward, up the slick stairs. The trapdoor slammed shut behind them, lock clicking ominously. Elliot's laugh echoed, low, chilling, through the basement's walls. Maria's heart raced, her brother's grip tight, unyielding. They reached the basement, the hum returning, louder, mocking. The side entrance was close, their only chance at freedom. Fog waited outside, thick but safer than this tomb. Maria clutched a notebook. Its secrets are weapon now. Elliot's footsteps followed, deliberate, closing in fast. The mansion groaned, its walls alive with malice. Maria's brother kicked the door, with splintering, fog rushing in. They stumbled outside, the air cold, sharp, alive with salt. The hum faded, but Elliot's presence lingered everywhere. Maria's mind churned, new questions burning like fire. Her mother alive? The monitors! The chamber, what was Elliot? The notebook held answers, but the key was gone. They ran, fog swallowing them, the mansion watching. Something bigger was coming, a truth too dark to grasp.